Hello, YouTube community. It's Robert S., and welcome back to RobScure Music. In this video, I'm going to share with you the items that I received at the Fest for Beatles fans this past weekend, which was in Jersey City, New Jersey. Now, some of these items I purchased there, and some of them I received from my friends who are, as Natalie Merchant put it, kind and generous. So let me start with some of the items that I purchased at the fest. And this is the little pamphlet, the brochure that everyone can pick up when they come to the fest. Basically has, all sorts of information, has the schedule of events and so on for each day. And in here, they indicate that, they've also got, some of the guests that will be appearing. But in here, they indicate that next year's fest, at least in New York area, will be at the TWA Hotel in JFK Airport. And it's basically at that location to celebrate 60 years since the Beatles first landed in America at JFK Airport. And it's not only the 60th anniversary of that occasion, but it's 50th anniversary of the Beatle Fest. So let me start, like I said, with the items that I purchased. We'll start with the books. This is a book which is volume 4 in a series by Jude Sutherland Kessler. And this is about John Lennon. This is a pretty thick book, a lot of reading to do, a couple of pictures in there, but this is actually very limited in quantity. So I was able to pick this up, meet the author, and get it autographed. Then, Jude also has, now available, volume 5 of the series. And the volume 4 is called Should Have Known Better. This is Shades of Life. Volumes 1, 2, and 3 are sold out in hard copy and are only available for Kindle, or I think for other audio downloads. But again, very thick book, chock full of information, pictures, information about things that were happening at that time. So looking forward to reading this. As I mentioned, she's got several volumes. This is just a sheet with a little information about them. So that's nice to have. Then, of course, I met Patty Boyd, and I picked up this wonderful book of hers called My Life in Pictures. Had an opportunity to have her autograph this book. I think that's a really cool signature she has. Very nice. And all kinds of pictures of one of the most famous muses in rock and roll history. And of course, there are 3 fantastic songs written about her. George Harrison's Something, And of course, Eric Clapton did Layla and Wonderful Tonight. So again, very happy to have been able to meet her, get a photograph with her, and get her autograph on this book. Then I also was able to pick up this book, which is compiled by Bruce Spicer. And this is, again, one in a series of different books. And here too, and this one, by the way, I should say, is the Beatles' Rubber Soul to Revolver. And, he's basically going through these with each album. And this includes not only Rubber Soul and Revolver, but as you see on the cover here, Yesterday and Today, and the singles that were released around that same time. So again, very, very happy to have been able to pick this up. I'll show you a couple of the images in here. And things that were happening at the time. Maybe just one more picture. And again, much like with the other books, I got that autographed. I was also able to pick up, sorry for the glare, a nice clean copy of the U.S. Rubber Soul album in shrink, because the copy I have, quite frankly, an original, is very worn from back in the days when I was younger and not thinking about preserving my albums. Let's say they were well loved, not worn out, well loved, and played often. So I think that is pretty much everything that I purchased. As I said, I've got many good friends in the vinyl community, YouTube community, Beatles community, whatever you want to call it. They're all very, very generous. So let me start with Joe Mayo from the famous Mean Mr. Mayo YouTube channel. I've received a copy, DVD copy, of the Get Back Rooftop concert. So that's really cool to have. Then from my good friend Robert P., I received a couple things, actually. He gave me, first off, a CD for Betsy Legg. And Betsy put out just this one album very quietly in 1971, I believe it was. And most people have not ever heard of Betsy Legg. And in fact, I had never heard of Betsy Legg until Robert pointed it out to me. She's a folk singer, very much along the lines of Joan Baez and Anne Murray, if you will. I'll show you that track listing. I may do a separate video just to highlight this particular album. It's very enjoyable. Robert also gave me, and this has a connection back to a book that I bought, the Bruce Spicer book. I got this wonderful that's better, 4-book heavy box set from Robert. And this is the Beatles album series. You have Let It Be, Abbey Road, The White Album and Launch of Apple, and Sgt. Pepper, a fan's perspective. We'll pull those out if we can. Again, Sergeant Pepper. The White Album. Abbey Road. And Let It Be. So it was very, very nice of Robert to think of me. So I really appreciate that. He also had promised me 2 cool crates. And these are crates that you can store CDs in. And I had seen, I think it was Doc Dacus who actually had this. And I'm not sure if Robert got them from Doc or Doc got them from Robert, or just a coincidence that they both had them. But these I was going to use to store the CDs that I received over a year or more from Robert. However, before the fest, Robert actually made a box and sent it to me. This box is to house CDs. And this, even the bottom, is chock full of pictures. So this is a wonderful, wonderful box. Opens this way. Get yet another image. Opens like this. And you can see it houses many, I think there's like actually 19 or 20 of the CDs that I was able to get from Robert. Some of which I bought, many of which he was kind enough to send me. So Robert, thank you. And then I also received from, And I also received from my friend Alan C. Records, an amazing, and I have to stand up for this one, a very nice poster of Beatles live at the BBC. So I'm going to have to get this framed and hung on the wall. So thank you, Alan. I really, really do appreciate this. And Alan actually gave me a gift last year too, so he's incredible. Go check out his channel. As a matter of fact, I'll leave links to all of the channels of the people that I've mentioned today, the YouTubers, down in my description. And then Beatle Brad. What can I say about Beatle Brad? He is just an incredible person. He makes incredible videos. He has an incredible collection. He is incredibly kind. And he shows up with many gifts, each of them actually wrapped. I felt like it was Christmas morning, and may as well have been from what I received from him. Now, Robert knows, even though it's a Beatle Fest, I like all kinds of music, so he gave me a number of things. First off, The Who BBC sessions. Amazing. Love The Who. And then something that's truly hard to get a hold of, DVD, The Doors. Soft Parade, a retrospective. So again, just incredible. Thank you. And a couple books. Pink Floyd. And this is a album by album discussion by Martin Popoff. So this is going to be a fun read as well. Can't wait to get into this. And then finally, after all, it was Beatle Fest. Yes, the Beatles, The Days of Their Life. And this is a book by Richard Havers. Back cover. I'll just perhaps show a couple images here from the book. Just picking pages at random. So thank you, Robert. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, everyone who made my time at the fest so enjoyable. And until next time, stay well, friends. And remember, if the music strikes a chord, let it play.